Okay, so my piece of steel is off. The first step is I'm going to come to the press, then I'm going to square it up, then I'm going to run to the Pilkington power hammer just to polish it and clean it out. 25-ton press, really nice bit of kit. Let's do some smushing.
So the billet doesn't end up being too long for the sledge. I'm going to go ahead and start with an upset squeeze on the press. You'll notice this is a really fast press, and it's got a pretty good amount of squeeze. I do, however, whenever I'm wanting to move material, try and reduce it by feeding in from the end. One thing I found when I was getting used to this press is when I would put too little material on there, it would just move too far, too fast. Once I get it roughly squared up with the press, I'm a little more used to running a power hammer, so I do go ahead and run to the power hammer to clean it up, planish it, and just go through all four sides, all four diagonals. Then I work upsetting it a little bit more, and I like to put like a slight curve, a slight radius, a slight round on the faces. This means that naturally later on with the sledge, I want it to have round faces, and that really helps that. You'll see that for punching holes, this press is just a freaking awesome bit of kit. It's a wonderful thing to have. And so, naturally, I come in from both sides, which I've center punched beforehand. It makes it super easy. There's so much heat left over at that point that what we can go ahead and do is run straight to the Sehimla power hammer and start forging in the trough lines. This isolates the faces from the cheeks, and this naturally means that we can then get into the cheeks next heat and pull out the cheeks, generate a really nice large house for the handle, and really big up the aesthetics of the tool. I think these are some inch round fullers, and they work great for this size of sledge. This is a 12-pound sledge, by the way. So the material that I started with for this was 85mm round by about 130mm long or so, if I recall correctly, and using a 1045 equivalent steel. Makes about a 12-pound sledge. It's about 12.5 pounds when you start, and then naturally you lose to scale, and then you lose to a grind at the end. With the drift in, we can start pulling out those cheeks from one side, and then I'll go ahead and work the faces to release it from the drift, and I'll flip the drift round into the other side as we go to the end of the heat. If it was getting any colder, I probably wouldn't want to work it, but right now it's fine to kind of do just that little bit of forging. Pull the cheeks down so they're nice and even, upset it, get it up off the drift, and we'll go ahead and take another heat. First thing I want to do now, naturally bringing those cheeks down, they've come to plane and become in line with the troughs. So I'm now going to go back in with the fullers, go back in the trough lines, and pull them down. That's going to really create a nice isolation, and it's good for the aesthetics. It really helps clean it up and make it look nice. So this is just, again, on the 60kg Sehimla. Go from either side, and then we'll end up going back in the drifts and forging the cheeks a little bit more back over on the Pilkington in the fullering dies. And at the end of the heat, once I've forged both cheeks out, I'm just going to go back again, clean up the trough line to make it nice and pretty. There we go. Forging the troughs does have a tendency to collapse the hole slightly, so a couple more insertions of the drift to just bring it to its final size, final shape, so we have as good a contact with the handle as possible. And there we go. So that is how to forge the sledgehammer on this particular one. I'll let you enjoy it. I do want to, however, say thank you so much for watching. Please do hit like, subscribe, and share the video if you have any friends that you think would quite like to see it. Really appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a fantastic day. Again, please do hit subscribe. It would mean the world to me. See you soon.